In this video, we'll talk about scoring with the game on the line, statistics in the clutch, and crowd silencing game winners. Here are the 10 most clutch players in NBA history. Number 10, Dwayne Wade. D-Wade wasn't much of a three-point shooter, but he sure made up for it with mid-range J's, drives, and trips to the free throw line. Wade's pump fake looked exactly like his shot, and he faked out and earned freebies on nearly everyone who tried to guard him, which always came in handy when the game was close. Wade made 5 career buzzer beaters, with the most famous one being the steal in the running three-pointer versus the Bulls in 2009. Overall, the Flash scored 20 game winners in his career, which proves his clutch gene and explains why Kobe called him ruthless. Number 9, Joe Johnson. They didn't call him ISO Joe because he couldn't score in isolations, did they? Joe Johnson was a walking bucket and one of the best one-on-one players of this century. Joe could embarrass you with his dribble. Just ask Paul Pierce. But he's best known for his scoring in the clutch. Joe made 8 buzzer-beating game winners, which is the second best mark all time. True to his nickname, 7 of Johnson's buzzer beaters were unassisted because ISO Joe didn't need anybody's help to score. Number 8, Reggie Miller. Because he was one of the best shooters ever, Reggie Miller has plenty of clutch highlights. Most famous was 8 points in 9 seconds when he choked out the Knicks and Spike Lee with 3 super clutch and super fast baskets when the game seemed to already be lost for his Pacers. Then in 1998, when he cheekily pushed off Jordan and then sank a 3 in his face. Yes, it was a foul, but he knew that the ref wasn't going to call it. Now that's called being clutch and cold-blooded. The NBA started tracking clutch stats in 1996, and for his final 9 seasons, Miller made 142 three-pointers in crunch time, almost twice as much as the second best player. Number 7, Jerry West. Jerry West has 2 basketball nicknames. The first one is the Logo, because it's his silhouette on the NBA logo. And the other one is Mr. Clutch, because nobody had made more clutch shots than him during the 60s and early 70s. I always wanted the ball in my hands with a game on the line, as I think any real competitor does. I was disappointed if I didn't have a chance to win a game. Jerry West. West made 4 game-winning buzzer beaters in his career, 2 of which came in the playoffs. His most famous shot was in the 1970 finals, when he cashed in a Hail Mary from his own half-court to send the game against the Knicks to overtime. If he played in a three-point era, that shot would also qualify as a game winner. But because there was no 3, the Lakers eventually lost the game in OT. Number 6, Paul Pierce. He wasn't the fastest, the strongest, or the most athletic, but Pierce had incredibly wide and strong shoulders, which he used to create separation. After he got some space, the ball usually went in, especially when the game was on the line, and that's why Shaq gave him his nickname. The Truth made 7 game winners at the buzzer, which is tied for 4th best of all time, and his 5 buzzer beater assists are the most ever. Pierce was deadly from 3, but interestingly, all 7 of his buzzer beaters were mid-range shots. He traded clutch buckets with LeBron and Kobe, and got the better of both during the 2008 playoff run, when he won the Finals MVP. Even at the advanced age, when he played for the Wizards, Pierce nailed a playoff game winner that went in off the glass. When asked did he call bank, he famously said, "I called game," and dropped the mic. Number 5, Larry Bird. Larry Bird was one of the best shooters ever. He was 6'10", and he was one cold SOB. This cocktail of traits made him into the best clutch performer of his era, and the Celtics always believed that they had a chance to win it when Bird had the ball. Larry was extremely confident with the game on the line, with that shooting prowess, no matter who guarded him. He's hit only 4 buzzer beaters for his career, but each one came when the Celtics were trailing. But Bird has done more in the clutch than scoring. He was a tremendous passer, and when Bird stole the ball from Isaiah Thomas, he made one of the most memorable clutch steals in NBA history. Number 4, Damian Lillard. There's not a widespread definition of clutch moments. Some believe it's the last 5 minutes of the 4th quarter or the last minute of a close game. But when Damian Lillard is on the court, the clutch moments are known as Dame time. Since he got to the NBA, Lillard has been one of the NBA's top 15 scorers in crunch time every season, and top 10 in the last 5 years. For the 2020-21 season, Dame has been the best clutch scorer in the league, recording 162 points in the last 5 minutes of close games, including 7 game-time or go-ahead shots in the final minute, all of which led to Blazers wins. He made 51% of clutch shots last year, 40% from deep, and a remarkable 95% from the line. His rich legacy of unbelievable game winners started in 2013, when the Blazers were down 2 in Game 6 of a first-round series against the Rockets. The action was drawn for LaMarcus Aldridge, but Lillard got open, drained the three, and sent the Rockets home. His second series buzzer came in 2019 against Paul George, when Dame sent OKC home from 35 feet away. George called it a bad shot, which might have been true for any other player, but not for Dame, who's draining 30-footers almost like layups. Since he came to the NBA, Lillard is the league leader in go-ahead buckets in the final minute of a game, including playoffs. In other words, Dame Time is the most clutch player in the NBA today. Number 3. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant started his playoff career with 4 air balls against Utah, 2 of which were potential game winners. Even though he couldn't be called clutch as a 19-year-old, Kobe showed a complete lack of fear and supreme confidence in his abilities. Bryant was the kind of guy that could clank 20 straight shots off the rim, but he would still keep firing with no hesitation, believing that he's going to make the next one, which made him one of the biggest threats ever in clutch situations. Kobe was always looking to attack, despite being suffocated by double or even triple teams. And his ability to make tough, contested jumpers was uncanny. Like that time when he was tightly guarded by D-Wade in Miami, with the Lakers down by 2 and just seconds left on the clock. Bryant did the impossible and banked in a three-pointer to win it. Or when he tied the playoff game in the final seconds against Phoenix, and then made a game winner at the buzzer in overtime. Or this fadeaway three-pointer in the double OT for the win against Portland. These are just the tip of the iceberg of his crunch time heroics. Overall, Kobe won 8 games at the buzzer, and his 101 game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final minute is the most in NBA history. Sure, Bryant has missed a lot of them, and his 34% percentage in the clutch is far from efficient, and he's notoriously famous for not passing the ball in the final seconds. But when we're talking about the confidence in the clutch and the ability to make the tough defense look irrelevant, nobody had it more than Black Mamba. Besides, there's a reason that generations have shouted Kobe when shooting a paper ball into a trash can. Number 2. LeBron James. When he was just 20 years old, LeBron James made a game winner in Game 3 against Washington in his playoff debut. In Game 5, he scored another game winner. Next year, he scored 29 out of 30 of Cleveland's last points in the fourth-quarter massacre against the Detroit Pistons in one of the all-time best playoff performances. In the 2008 playoffs against the Celtics, he scored 45 points in Game 7, going against 4 future Hall of Famers. In 2009, LeBron sank 2 buzzer beaters, one against the Warriors in the regular season, and one against Orlando in the playoffs. Between 2003 and 2010, during his first stint in Cleveland, he was a league leader in made field goals in the final minute with the game on the line. 2 years later, the haters, so-called analysts, and people who didn't know any better all started saying that LeBron is missing the clutch gene, that he'll never win a title, and that he can never be a leader like Jordan. It took them just one bad playoff series against Dallas to start calling King James late choke. And somehow, the narrative that LeBron isn't clutch stuck around. Sure, that finals against Dallas was a bad look on James, who passed up shots in the fourth quarter and completely lost faith in his jumper. But people forget that Dallas clogged the lane entirely in that series, and Miami didn't have much shooting, and that those Mavs swept Kobe in the same playoffs. Everything LeBron did before and after that series was extremely clutch. In 2012, he annihilated the Celtics with his back against the wall, scoring 45 with 15 rebounds in Game 6. In 2013, he scored a buzzer beater against Paul George and the Pacers. Since then, he's added 4 more game winners at the horn, and his 5 career postseason buzzer beaters are most in NBA history. When it comes to accuracy, LeBron's at the top again. LBJ is 12 for 23 on game-tying and go-ahead shots in the last 10 seconds of a playoff game, a better mark than Jordan's 7 for 15 and Kobe's 5 for 22. After the clutch 3 from King James that beat Golden State in the 2021 play-in game, he has amassed 97 career game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final minute, trailing only Kobe Bryant's 101. Not bad for a guy whose best skill is passing and will not force shots when they are not there, and instead pass it to an open teammate. Number 1. Michael Jordan. His supreme athleticism, enormous hands, polished mid-range and post-game, and the ability to hit tough turnaround jumpers, MJ could get his shot off against anybody. which made him extremely difficult to guard. Even though everybody in the arena already knew who would shoot the last shot, opposing coaches and players usually couldn't do anything to stop it other than pray that MJ misses the shot. Jordan's career was filled with clutch moments, starting from the 1982 NCAA championship and a game winner against Georgetown in the final. His next career buzzer-beater highlight came in 1989 when he hit the shot over Craig Elo at the buzzer in the 5th and final game of the series, which sent the Bulls to their first conference finals. Then, in 1993, MJ hit another series buzzer beater to send Cleveland home again, but his most important shots came in the finals against Utah. In 1997, he scored at the buzzer to win Game 1. In 1998, he made the last shot of the game over Byron Russell to secure the Bulls their 6th championship. In his career, Jordan made 9 for 18 go-ahead or game-tying shots in the final 24 seconds of the 4th quarter or overtime. His airness made 9 game winners at the buzzer, which is the most in NBA history. Interestingly, all 9 were jump shots, and 7 of them were unassisted, which proves the Bulls' well-known coaching tactic in the Jordan era. Just give the ball to Michael and move the hell out of the way. Let's give an honorable mention to Robert Horry, Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, and Kawhi Leonard, who have all made some of the most memorable clutch shots in NBA history.